What's going on, y'all? This your boy Teddy Blackman. I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna talk about Jayson Tatum. Now this footage is courtesy of the NBA. Obviously the Celtics played last night. That was November the 13th. Home game against the New York Knicks, in which Jayson Tatum led the Celtics to a victory, which was a pretty tightly played game. Pretty much most of the game, about 90% of the game. And then the Celtics kind of blew it open, pause, towards the end of the game. But this was a highly competitive game. So we're going to get into some things that we noticed about Jayson Tatum this season. Now, granted, it's only been 10 games. Um, we're not going to really get into like the averages and the numbers per se, because all that stuff is common knowledge. We're going to look into some deeper things and some little things and some intangibles that we noticed this season so far versus previous seasons. Now I will say this about Tatum: so far this season, um, he seems like he's had more of a willingness to make the right play, to make the right kind of pass, play, take the shot, which is awesome because it lets you know that he's fully, or maybe not fully, but he's more so bought into his teammates and he trusts them. It doesn't feel like he has to carry the load too much. Also, what we're noticing with Tatum this year so far is he's kind of slowed down. You know what I'm saying? When I say slow down, I don't mean like getting old, but I mean like in the sense of the game seems like it's slowing down for him. He's not always in a constant move to be like all over the place, all fast. Even when he does his handles and things like that, for the most part, it's a cool, calm, collected, size up, jab, sidestep, whatever he's doing. As you can see right here, it's like cool, calm, collected. It's an and one, two good shot making ability by him. um, Obviously, he does still have a teeny bit of problem with the turnovers. And we do get a game here and there, every once in a blue moon, where he's just like off. Now those games, came frequently last season, but so far this season, so good. Now one thing that's kind of negative, it's not negative on him, it's kind of coaching. I think, in my opinion, is I'm not a fan of Jayson Tatum playing a lot of minutes so early on in the season. Like, we gotta find. I know we don't have that much depth, but we gotta find a way to somewhat keep these guys fresh and as we can for the long haul. Because I feel like a lot of that goes into it in the playoffs. Is teams be tired and worn down and don't have anything left for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, with the additions of Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday, um, we should be able to manage that a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like um, if we could get that, some raps on that, it'll bode well for JT. Also, I noticed his handles, as you can just see that right there, is slightly cleaner. They're a little cleaner. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't lose control as much. He's more consistent at actually finishing, at the rim, because we've seen plenty of times, like, and not just him, but other Celtics players, um, they have these brilliant moves to get to the rack, and then they blow the layup. They miss a bunch of point blank layups, and that's kind of been a problem. I think in the game against Philadelphia earlier this season, one of the only Celtics losses. They have two losses. One was against Philly. There's a lot of missed layups, so it rears its ugly head. It's going to take a while to break bad habits, but if you're consistently building good habits, the bad habits will eventually wean themselves off. Hopefully, that's what we're hoping for. His passing, he's been more instinctive with his passing, which means he's been working very hard at it. And again, like I stated at the beginning of the video, he really trusts his teammates. I mean, with this much talent, I guess you don't have a choice but to trust them, right? You literally have Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Derek Wright. For the most part, all high IQ basketball players, all highly capable players. You have like your Al Horfords coming off the bench. You have like the sharpshooter and Sam Hauser, who started the season off basically cooking with gas from behind the arc. I think he leads the league in 3-point percentage and all that. But we're not, like I said, we're not against the percentages and all that kind of stuff. So when it comes down to let's do MVP first. So now Jayson Tatum has started the last 2 to 3 seasons top three as far as like candidates for MVP. Last year he was even a front runner for MVP for about the first month or two of the season before completely falling off and going into his, you know, routinely slump that he always normally goes into a little bit after the season starts. Now we're going to get into why I feel like he won't go into a slump per se. A little bit in the coming weeks, like he normally does, or this early in the season. I feel like what we're seeing in this highlight package, and I'm glad it was a nice, complete game from him last night. That's the highlights that we're watching. As he doesn't shoot, it's not just like all threes anymore, a majority of threes. Now, we've been watching Celtics basketball. You know that the downside to these guys the last few seasons is they will live and die by the three. But unfortunately, we don't have a Steph Curry. We don't have a Klay Thompson. We don't have like prolific sharpshooters. We've had people who had the ability to get hot from three, but they couldn't stay hot from three, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like now that he's kind of gone back to his bread and butter, which was absolute money at Duke and money his first couple of seasons in the league, which is getting to that mid-range, that post-up, back to that mid-range, it's going to be super, super, super tough to stop him in that mid-range. Look at this right here. It's too much you could do. Now, Josh Hart is a credible defender, but I'm not going to put too much onus on that because he's not like, your premier defender. He's not like your Jimmy Butlers or, your Scotty Barnes and those type of guys that would be normally guarding JT. But nonetheless, that mid-range is lethal, and he's back using it more consistently. Now, I discredited coaching a little bit earlier, so I have to get credit to coaching where it's due. Obviously, we brought in Sam Cassell, which you can see has paid off tremendously with the guards as far as like footwork goes, decision making. As you can see, another post up. There's so many options right here for JT when he's posting up in that mid range. It's almost unstoppable because of his length and wingspan. As you can see, he's knocking down threes. And once he gets going, it's pretty much a wrap. There's really nothing you could do about it. But the problem is, we know that he could tend to wear down due to the high minutes, which is what I was speaking about earlier. So, can he finish? Can he get an MVP? I'm going to lean towards I need to see more. But so far, so good. I feel like his explosion and his burst, these peak performances that we're getting like we got last night, they don't seem forced and like overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like he's exerting too much energy. It doesn't feel, even though he played like 40 minutes last night. I hate that. We can't be playing 40 minutes in the middle of November, and the season could go on to June potentially. You know what I'm saying? Can he lead this team to a championship? Now, I'm on the fence about this, but I'm leaning more towards yes rather than no. And I'm on the fence because obviously the bench. The starting five is crazy talented. They could be playing bad the whole entire game, or it could be a pretty even par game the whole way through. And then the starting five, somebody will hit a three, somebody else will hit a three. Drew Holiday get a steal, and then somebody get an easy layup off the steal. Derek White will get a steal or a block, and then next thing you know, JT done hit 2 threes in a row, or Porzingis and then hit a three, or Jaylen Brown and got like a monster dunk, and it just starts to snowball. You know what I'm saying? However, when these guys need a break, and we have like your Sam Hausers, who's been playing out of his mind so far, your Peyton Pritchard, who's been up and down so far, but I'm hoping with his new expanded role, once he gets used to it, he'll start to revel in that a little bit. Obviously, the old veteran Al Horford, who is excuse me, getting older but still reliable. As far as defense goes, finishing at the rim, the 3 point shot is hit and miss now. It's not as consistent as it once was, but for you, him coming off the bench, we'll take that. Obviously, we have a couple of players that don't play consistently, but still are decent. And Banton and O'Shea Brissett. Hopefully, they can find some more minutes eventually. But I really feel like the way that this team is playing, obviously they can't win every game. They're 8-2 right now. I believe they lost to the Philly and the Timberwolves. I want to say, and both two winnable games. The Celtics could easily be 10-0 right now. They lost to Philly by 3, and they lost to the Timberwolves by 5 in an overtime game, in which Jaylen Brown had a shot at the end of regulation to win the game. He just missed it. The Celtics could easily be 10-0 right now, and then the hype train will probably be here. But this is one of the better starts to a season that we've had in a while. You know what I'm saying? I want to take it back to the year that Gordon Hayward first signed with the Celtics and broke his ankle. And then the Celtics ended up winning, like, what was it, 18, 19, 20 in a row or something like that. Record ended up being like 20-2 or something like that. Um, yeah, that's what I'm hoping the Celtics, this Celtics team does without injuries. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I really feel like this Celtics team has a chance to get it done. It's a better constructed team versus what we've been having. I know a lot of my fellow Celtics fans are disappointed that we had to get rid of Smart, and a lot of people wanted to trade Brogdon, six man of the year. I was against trading Brogdon, but once he found out that they was trying to trade him, kind of soured their relationship. So at that point, you have to trade him. The Marcus Smart thing, I understood why people. It was an emotional attachment for a lot of people, but we had to change things up. There's no way we could have came in to this situation and thinking like we have to keep stuff the same. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how things play out. I'm probably gonna be doing these type of videos um, as the season goes on, and also doing like Celtics reaction videos with big marquee matchups. The more that the season goes on, these matchups get a little bit bigger, more important. Also, might start covering the in-season tournament. I don't know. I gotta see. But yeah, do y'all think Jayson Tatum could win an MVP? Also, do y'all feel like the Celtics have enough to win a championship with this current state of players? I think I covered everything. So I'm gonna ask y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and share all that good stuff. Really appreciate the support. And yeah, this is Teddy Blackman, and I'm out.